Let's have a look first at what happens if you develop a silent witness. It means that everything you say and everything you think is being witnessed. There's nothing that is not being seen. There's nothing that is really unconsciously coming out, because it's all seen as it comes out. And so the mind's activities, its defence systems, the belief systems that come into play, they're all seen. So you're not just caught in some story of what you think's happening, you're actually seeing the mechanics below the story. A bit like driving a motor car. You can drive the car without knowing how a motor works, or how the gearbox works, or how the transmission works, or you can actually know everything about that car. And so if the car breaks down or it needs repairing, you may have the skill to do something about that. But if you just drive the car and you know nothing about it except how to drive it, the car breaks down, there's nothing you can do really, because you don't have the understanding, you don't have the knowledge. You actually haven't observed the motor, you haven't observed the gearbox, you haven't observed the transmission to see how it all works. Well, the same goes pretty much for the mind. Most people don't examine their mind, they just drive it, they just use it. They don't examine the nuts and bolts of how it all works, and as a result they don't really know how to change it, they don't really know how to fix it if it's broken, because they don't have the understanding of it, and they don't have detachment from it to do that. The silent witness that is developed through the practice of any form of meditation, there's your answer, allows us to see, allows us to have that distance to examine what it's up to and see how it ticks, see what makes it work, and as a result have a choice to change what's there or not. People who just live in dream without detachment, or just in thoughts without detachment, people who just drive their mind without knowing how it works, they might think they have choice. But if they can't see the mechanics of the mind, their choices are very limited as to what they can and can't change. So detachment from the mind gained through the practice of meditation is a huge advantage for anyone who is in the market for higher consciousness, anyone who's interested in higher consciousness. Because in higher consciousness, we gain consciousness by seeing through the mind and removing obstacles that are in the way of higher consciousness. What we can't see, we can't remove. What we can't see, we can't surrender. What we can't see, we can't accept. And so if we're running blind, there's not much we can do. The silent witness allows us to see. And this is gained through the practice of meditation, pretty much any practice of meditation. If it's done long enough, a silent witness develops.